When we think about the greatest shots in NBA history, a few classics always come to mind. Michael Jordan over Elo in '89, Ray Allen's three in the 2013 finals, Kyrie's dagger in 2016. Those are the shots that get replayed endlessly, the ones every fan knows by heart. But what about the shots we don't talk about? The ones that were just as clutch, just as iconic in the moment, yet somehow they've been buried by history. Today, we're going back and shining a spotlight on those forgotten gems, the shots that swung series, ended dynasties, but for whatever reason, don't get the credit they deserve. These are the best forgotten shots in NBA history. Game 5 of the 2004 Western Semifinals, Lakers vs. Spurs. Tim Duncan had just hit a miraculous off-balance fadeaway over Shaq with .4 seconds left. Everyone in the building thought the Spurs had won. But then, the unthinkable. Derek Fisher caught the inbound, turned, and somehow got the shot off in less than half a second. Swish. The Lakers stole the win, the momentum, and eventually the series. What makes this shot forgotten is the timing. The Lakers didn't win the title that year. They fell to the Pistons in the finals. So Fisher's miracle doesn't get the same highlight treatment as, say, Ray Allen in 2013. But technically, it was even more impossible. To this day, .4 is remembered in LA, but nationally, it's almost a footnote. That's the crazy part. Maybe the fastest game winner in league history is somehow underappreciated. Picture this, 1984, Bullets vs. Pistons. Jeff Malone, not Carl, Jeff, is sprinting down the sideline as the clock winds down. He leaps, catches the pass mid-air, but his body is completely drifting out of bounds. He's sideways, almost horizontal. With no balance, he throws up a one-legged prayer. Buzzer. Game over. Bullets win. It's one of the most difficult buzzer beaters ever attempted, let alone made. But here's why it's forgotten. The Bullets weren't title contenders, and Malone wasn't a household name. So this clip gets buried in NBA history. If someone like Steph Curry hit this exact same shot today, it would instantly go viral, be replayed on every sports show, and live in meme culture for years. But back then, it aired once on TV and disappeared. That's why Jeff Malone's miracle needs to be remembered. Fast forward to the 1999 Western Conference Finals. Spurs vs. Blazers, Game 2. The Spurs are down 2 points with under 10 seconds left. Shawn Elliot catches the ball in the corner, but his heels are inches, literally inches from being out of bounds. Somehow, he tiptoes the sideline, rises up, and drains the three to take the lead. That shot completely flipped the series. The Spurs never looked back, won their first ever championship, and began what would become a dynasty. The reason it gets overlooked? It was during the lockout season, and Elliott wasn't a superstar like Duncan or Robinson. But make no mistake, without that shot, the Spurs dynasty might not have even started. It's one of the most franchise-altering shots in NBA history, but it's sometimes forgotten. In 1986, Western Conference Finals. The Rockets are tied with Magic and Kareem's Showtime Lakers. 1 second left in Game 5. Ralph Sampson catches an alley-oop tip, flings it toward the hoop, and it drops. The Lakers, who had been to the finals 4 of the last 5 years, were eliminated, just like that. This is huge because in the 80s, nobody knocked out the Lakers except for Boston or Philly. The Rockets did it on a miracle shot. But because Houston lost to the Celtics in the finals, the play faded from memory. It should be remembered as the night of the Showtime Lakers dynasty was stopped cold, if only for a season. That makes Sampson's tip one of the most underrated buzzer beaters ever. In 1997, the Utah Jazz were known as a team that always fell short. Stockton and Malone were legendary, but the finals always eluded them. Then came Game 6 of the Western Conference Finals against the Rockets. Tie game. Stockton gets the inbound, pulls up from deep, and buries a three at the buzzer. Utah finally punched its ticket to the NBA Finals. This was the biggest shot in Jazz history. But because Jordan and the Bulls crushed Utah in back-to-back finals, Stockton's dagger has been overshadowed. It's a shame because it wasn't just a great shot, it was the culmination of a Hall of Fame career that had been chasing this moment for over a decade. We know Robert Horry as Big Shot Rob. He made clutch plays for Houston, LA, and San Antonio. But maybe his most forgotten one came in 2002. Game 4, Western Conference Finals. The Kings are about to go up 3-1 on the Lakers. That would have been a death sentence. Vlade Divac swats the rebound out, but it lands right in Horry's hands. No hesitation. He launches a three. Bang. Game over. The Lakers tied the series, went on to win in 7, and claim their 3rd straight championship. If Horry misses that shot, history looks completely different. This wasn't just another clutch 3. It saved the Shaq-Kobe dynasty, and yet you rarely hear it mentioned alongside the most famous shots. That's why it belongs here in the most forgotten ones. In 1999, the Knicks were the 8th seed, going against the number 1 seeded Miami Heat. Game 5, the series on the line. Allan Houston drives into the paint, pulls up, and hits a tough runner. It bounced around forever before finally dropping. The Knicks completed the upset and went all the way to the finals, the first 8th seed to ever do it. This was a history-making shot, but because New York lost to San Antonio in the finals, Houston's heroics get lost in time. In reality, it was the single moment that defined that magical Knicks run. Without it, there's no Cinderella story, no underdog finals appearance. So there you have it, 8 of the best forgotten shots in NBA history. From Derek Fisher's impossible 0.4-second miracle, to Shawn Elliott's Memorial Day dagger, to Allan Houston toppling the number 1 seed. These shots shaped history, ended dynasties, and changed franchises forever. Yet somehow they don't get talked about like MJ's shot over Elo or Ray Allen's corner 3. Maybe it's because they didn't come in the finals. Maybe it's because the players weren't household names, but they all deserve their place in NBA history. Which one of these shots do you think is the most underrated? And did I miss any forgotten classics? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next one for some more NBA content.